Okay, let's now look at a really good exercise for helping you memorize the musical alphabet on the guitar fretboard. Now the idea is really simple. Basically what you do is you choose a string that you want to work on, and you'll just go up and down the string saying the note names out aloud. And I'll just demonstrate. So let's take the thin E string. So we've got an E note, then F, then G, then A, then B, then C, then D, and then E. And once I hit the 12th fret, what I do is I go backwards. So we've got E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E. So what I'll do is I'll just demonstrate how I would do it if I was practicing by myself, if I wasn't doing a video. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E. And I would repeat that over and over for maybe, let's say 2 or 3 minutes. It doesn't have to be a long time. Now, there's a few things that were really important. Like one thing was I was only using one finger. It doesn't really matter what finger you use, but the idea is you want to strip away any sort of muscle memory. So what I mean is, if I went through the exercise like this, and I was using different fingers, then chances are I'm going to be thinking more about what my fingers are doing than the actual note names. The second really important thing that I was doing was I was saying the note names out aloud. I mean, it's partly so you can understand how to do the exercise, but that's exactly how I would do it if I was practicing. I've given this exercise to many students over the years, and it just seems to work better when people say it out aloud. The other really sort of important thing was just the fact that I was looking at the notes as I was playing them. So the idea is that you want to look at the note. So for instance, let's say I'm on the G note. I want to look at the note, I want to play the note, and I want to say the note name out aloud. So you're listening to the sound of the note, you're thinking about the note name, and you're associating that sound and that note name to a position on the fretboard. Like some of my students, occasionally what they do is when they're doing it, they sort of look away and they go like this. They go E, F, G, A, B. And while that's okay, but there's a severe flaw in that method, is that you're not building up a visual representation of the fretboard in your mind. So the thing that you're aiming for is eventually being able to close your eyes and just imagine those note names. Now the cool thing about this exercise is it's done in exactly the same way on the other strings. So if I just demonstrate on the B string, we'll have B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B. Now the interesting thing is, you may find that going down the neck, i.e. from the 12th fret to the open string is a bit more challenging. I've noticed that many people, as strange as it sounds, find it quite challenging to remember the alphabet backwards. So if that's the case with you, then what you might want to do is emphasize going down. So I'm not saying don't go up, but maybe you could go up once and then you could go down twice, just to really emphasize that. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'll just pretend that I'm practicing by myself. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B. Yeah, I think you get the idea. It's very important to, over time, do this on every string. So the idea is, probably the best method is to stay on one string for a number of practice sessions. So you might do 5 minutes a day for a few days. And then once you think you totally know it, then you could move on to the next string. Now the really important thing is that when you move on to the next string, you review the string that you mastered previously. So the idea is, let's say where you've mastered the thin E string and you've just moved on to the B string. What you would do is just once go through the E string just to keep it sort of in your brain, and then spend the remainder of that 5 minutes just working on the B string. Now I'll show you the eventual goal. The eventual goal is to be able to do this. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D. And I'll stop there just to save time, but you get the idea. The idea is to start on one string, go up and down, go to the next string up and down, and just go through all 6 strings. And you'll find once you've sort of done enough work on that, you should be able to run through that in a minute or two, so it won't take long to review. Now, one last important point is a lot of my students ask me whether or not they should go up and down up to the highest fret on their guitar. So in my case, I've got 24 frets. And what I tell them is it depends on your goals. Like if you can see yourself doing a lot of guitar solos really, really high up the neck, then it's really worthwhile spending some time, at least on the thinnest strings, going all the way up. But I would say this, you should spend most of your time in the areas of the neck that you can see yourself playing the most. So for example, on the thickest string, I don't play very often you know, on the higher frets. So I don't really play 17, 18, 20, you know, way up on the thicker strings. I play sort of way up on the thinner strings, but not on the thicker strings. So I must admit, I've never bothered to do the exercise. For example, I've never bothered to do this. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. I mean, those last few frets, so I've probably hardly played on them ever. So it's a bit of a waste of time to do a lot of note learning up there if you don't see yourself playing there.